I do have plans of expanding in the sense. I don't know if in somehow I would make some sort of like inner community. I curate like maybe an NFT collection, like a small one or something like that for more like the biggest fans, for the people that did more than one order, people that bought like limited editions and stuff like that, and then have like pieces specifically for them, just like working designs that they want. I would definitely do that. How would that look like if the internet was a stock? You could buy stocks of the internet that everyone accesses today. We don't know. A lot of people that use the internet, they don't really know how it works. They don't think about all the cloud computers, all the servers, and all the stuff that's going on behind of those scenes. But they use it every day. And then they cannot live without it anymore. And I think that's the way in which the tensor is walking.
Welcome to the Ventura Labs podcast. Today, we're joined by Lucas, the creative force behind Bittensor's merchandise scene. Coming from a background in aircraft mechanics with the Brazilian Air Force, Lucas brings an interesting story of how he got involved with cryptocurrencies and the AI space. We'll discuss his experiences, insights, contributions, and how he's fostering community spirit through his merchandise creations. And now, back to Lucas with the 22nd Ventura Labs podcast. Okay, Lukita, it's good to have you on today. How you doing?
Awesome, man. Really, really awesome to be here. Thank you for the invitation. And pleasure to meet you.
You as well, you as well. Well, let's start by who are you? What is your background? What do you do?
Wow, this is a crazy beginning because my background has nothing to do with what we're doing around the tensor. Um, I actually got my background in craft mechanics in the Brazilian Air Force like many years ago. But then I just quit, went like to experience the world, I would say. Went learning languages, going around. I moved to Europe. I'm originally from Brazil, from Rio. I moved to Europe. I have been in Europe for the past almost 10 years now. And I just like had like different experiences. I got involved with several things. I started knowing myself better and getting to be involved with more of the financial world. Then I started making my first amount of money. And then I went to crypto, like Bitcoin first, right? And it's the beginning for everyone. You discover what Bitcoin means, like how the world's going, how everything is just crazy. And you just stick around. You're gonna see all the innovations that have been built around crypto. You discover all the scams as well. um, and that's like after a few years in this environment of crypto, I have been like most in Solana dealing with community because of the language. I was able to deal with different communities in different countries. I was a lot in Solana, participating in several events like Solana Build Point in Amsterdam and Lisbon, representing different teams. And in this middle of the research of my last investment in Solana, I got like in touch with a lot of things about AI, got interested about it. A friend of mine talked about Bittensor to me, like, yeah, check out this the Bitcoin of AI. And then I had that feeling of like, oh my God, it's restarting like Bitcoin again. And then that's where it started.
Yeah, who is this friend? That's a great friend. When did that happen?
Man, it's like it's today I is not only a friend, it's like a really advisor of like many things. He's a little bit older than me, so I see him as like an old brother. We go from religion to finances to business to just simple things. He's a very smart guy. And he was the one that introduced me like to Bitcoin in the beginning. And I'm eternally grateful to him. Like it's an amazing person.
So when did you find BitTensor? When was it timeline wise? What like year, date?
That was late 2022 when he first talked about it. It was really early, really, really early. We barely could find anything about the tensor. Um, I was very engaged in what I was doing, so I got like curious about it that I really didn't put the time on it. And a few months after, I was like losing a little bit of the interest in what I was doing because Solana was getting a little bit like, pump fun, kind of like many coins everywhere. And then I wanted to participate in something real serious, something that was meaningful. And then I went to check really bit Bittensor around March, February 2023. So yeah, it's almost 2 years now. So very early.
What were your first impressions of it? You said the Bitcoin of AI. When you
Ye-
first looked into it, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I think this is like the first impact that you receive, like Bitcoin of AI. Why Bitcoin of AI? And then you check around about the tokenomics, like and you see like it's just 21 million. And then it's just a shock because when you see like all those 1 billion forever supplies everywhere, you're like, okay, that's interesting. Um, and the idea was pretty much a concept only. You couldn't see much, right? We didn't have subnets, we didn't have staking, we didn't have anything. It was just an idea. And I am a guy of ideas. I really love ideas. I really like to go and imagine how it would be if they really happened. So I just I just bought the idea. I was like, I think that would be awesome and great, and it would be very beneficial if we make it happen. So I was like, well, I stuck around with it.
And it's very like technically AI focused, and you have more of a crypto background. So what helped you bridge that gap, or when did you like have that knowledge gain of AI to be able to understand what BitTensor is?
Yeah, that's interesting because the the team that I was working with in Solana, they were building a game, a mobile game, and the lore of this game was about AI. And I was working with the creative director, and then we were like having meetings and chats about like how would that look like in the lore of the game if we add like things about AI. So our research to do that was a lot about going to see what AI is actually doing nowadays. Like, what is it capable of? And then I went like to several like articles. I was watching several videos, documentaries, and movies, and then I was literally like losing the focus of my work. I was like, "Oh, I need to study this. Like, this is awesome." It's just like, oh my god, mind blowing, right? Um, and then when BitTensor came, it was just the sweet spot. I was like, "Wow, that's awesome." And now I need to see where it will take us because that was like pretty much for me uh, the first project in crypto that was really talking about AI in a serious manner, right? So I said like, well, I think this is very early and should do it. We should go for it. I went like I went crazy with it since the beginning. I'm still crazy about it. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And in that understanding, you were here before the subnets. How would you describe what BitTensor is doing now to someone that is a novice and doesn't know crypto, doesn't know BitTensor? How would you introduce them to it, like your mentor did for you?
Um, Yeah, it's a very complex way, right? Like I think it's the start that everyone says it's complex to explain big concern in a world in a simple word or like few quotes. But if I had to try, I would tell people that it's just a better way of doing things. Is a bigger is a bigger way of like simply motivating people to do what they are already doing, right? To do it better, to do it more so that we could collaborate at the same time that we are competing. And that's a very hard concept for people to understand because we are used to a capitalism that is savage, that is a competition that one needs to eat the other. And then in big cancer you have this, but this dynamic is actually different because if you keep doing so, you're still benefiting your enemy, right? So I think I would describe like this: it's just a better way of incentivizing companies to grow, right?
Incentivizing companies to grow. Yeah. Would you describe a subnet as a company? How would you describe what a subnet is in terms of the architecture of how BitTensor is built to someone that is a novice? or new
Yeah,
to Bittensor?
I would pretty much say like to simplify for people that it's like a something it's a company, right? It's a business, but they have a purpose of like making money. They have a purpose of producing something valuable, and making a difference. Like some of them are just research, so they want to make a difference, but not necessarily they are looking for scalability of like sales or anything like that. But then you have different companies with different purposes. Um, and I think a company really it makes it easier for people to digest what is a sudden up.
Yeah. And then you are very active on social medias,
Yeah.
talking about BitTensor a lot. What is your true level of involvement with BitTensor? Did you ever mine? Did you ever validate? Are you part of a subnet? Any of these type of things?
Well, today I work with a team of North Tensor Validator and also Bittensor AI. I didn't mind. I'm not like a technical guy. I'm not like the dev type of person that goes around Bittensor and then just start, checking the codes. Um, I have tried to mine before, like with third parties and people that would do that for you and stuff, but that was really early, like didn't really work out. But I was happy to try because I really wanted to participate somehow. Um, but no, I'm not some owner. I'm not like um, I participate in the team more in this communication part because, like you said, I'm very active in the social medias. I talk a lot with many people from the community, trying to participate in as many events as I can, and then trying to connect the dots and help the people to find what they need and make them achieve what they want to achieve.
And another level of your participation that you did not mention there is the Tao merch store. That is you. You created Tao merch.
Oh,
You created this shirt.
yeah.
What
Yeah, this is awesome. Because I'm not gonna
what
lie.
motivated you to start that?
Well, yeah, this is I think it was a little bit of this will of participating in the early stages of Bittensor. Like I said, it was like so abstract for my area of expertise, the communication and marketing and branding was really hard for the builders to really see something useful in that. Today they're starting to get the understanding that this is necessary. I was just like trying to participate and help people and collaborate with people somehow, really like make them um, have something that they could celebrate what they were doing, right? They were building something really important, and it was a really early stage. So I really had this idea of like, well, why not create a merchandise store so people can really, wear the merch of like their subnets and their validators and then really wear the merch of the tensor, like they really feel that they belong to this community so much. And I wanted to build this feeling of we participate in one space. So I gladly had uh, at that time already met some really big names like Everett from the commentary that he made like Decentralized Minds, and I recommend everyone to watch it. It's an awesome documentary. Um, I met him at the time and then was talking with him about it. And then he bought my first merch. He sent me the photos and it was like, wow, this is awesome. And I was like, well, so maybe that I should express this to the people and then like really give something fun and then create like memes and things for people to participate and really celebrate the things, right? Like that's the store. Like it's a movement, is a support to this movement, right? Is a way of giving us this feeling that we are doing something really awesome.
Yeah, what's your design process look like for new merch?
Well, sometimes it's just like I recently made a giveaway because Host saw the store, like we interacted with some comments, which was like a big milestone, I think, for the store. And then I got like a quote that he posted that is very iconic, right? And then I tried to take those pieces of future that had been dropped among like Discord and among Twitter to kind of like give them a very strong impact, like a message. Like sometimes it's just like the design of the symbol of the T, right? Or sometimes it's just like a community member or a quote or some joke and some mimetic kind of like uh, aspect of the community. And then I go like sometimes when I have my time, free time, I go there, like I play around with some designs, I have fun with them. I get a lot of suggestions of people. I try to collaborate, like I made like some merch with the designers of Everett, the designers of Gabriel, which is like a designer of their the designer that is around the Bittensor community. So sometimes I get designs from people and it's like, yeah, it would be awesome to do this. And then I drop there, give them some merch. So yeah, it's open. I'm open to suggestions all the time. And like for you as well. So um to be there, like you wearing the merch, it's like, well, you have a logo, you have a podcast, it's awesome. So like, yeah, you do some merch as well. Why not? Um, with Keith, I did the same as well. Sending him some merch. He also sent me some towel after like the gratitude and stuff like that. So you get like different moments, and it's just awesome to be doing that. You start really connecting with the people. This is awesome for me.
Yeah. You also have a big collection with Manifold. Is that
Oh yeah, yeah,
suggesting
yeah.
that's your favorite subnet? Subnet 4?
That was very early in the beginning when I was thinking about this like already. I think it was I was anticipating a little bit this of like, well, subnets will have to compete for stake. That was the feeling that I always had, right? That they had to also curate the community for what they were building, right? To get some people close between the Bittensor community. And at the time, I was suggesting to different subnets to do that. And then a really good friend of mine, that's Uncle Luke, uh, he was like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome to do some merch of Manifold." And I was like, "Well, yeah, of course, why not?" So I built it and I put it in there. I really like them, but I have like so many subnets that I love as well. So it's just it's impossible for me to have all the time to make all the merch for all of them. It's crazy. I'm hopefully will expand, get someone that understands about Bitcoin to put like them making the merch and then give like some sort of like fairness to all the subnets to have the merch as well in the store.
Since you have the Solana background, do you think you'll do anything in terms of like NFT or meme coin for BitTensor like that?
I had thought about it, ways of right, like I said, curate this community. I had some ideas, write it down. Um, I didn't really like make them public or nothing. Meme coins, not exactly. Didn't really think about meme coins. I don't really want to make the community lose the focus, but at some point maybe it will make sense for all the community to kind of like have a symbol that you know it's like a dodge for Bitcoin, right? The equivalent on Bitcoin. So I think that it's something that we need to have to establish the community really in the sense of crypto as well. But yeah, I do. I had some ideas about NFTs. I could do it, but I think I have to get some EVM guys now to give me some tips on that.
Yeah, NFT is a form of merch. You could
Hmm.
definitely add that.
Yeah, that'll be
Airdrop it
awesome.
to some people.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, like what would you suggest though if I had to choose like what would I put it like NFT would be like an animal, would be like a type of I don't know, it's so hard to think about. The community is so vast and people are so different as well. They're from so many different places. It'll be hard to find one thing that everyone kind of identifies with. So it will be definitely an interesting process.
That's the art of it. That's why you do what you do, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you have any big plans like that? Any other ideas for Tal merch? What does the
Uh,
future of Tal merch look like?
well, I do want to extend it to different items like um, 3D printing and different types of merch of like shorts and socks and all the types of things that people would want to because it doesn't really like uh, it doesn't really make me I don't really care about like the profiting of the store. I really want to know like if there's one guy, like I had like people that would send messages to me like, "Oh, it would be really awesome to have a hoodie." And I'm like, how do I find a zip hoodie to put in the store? I don't care if just one guy would buy it. I'm happy that he would be buying them because for me, he's spreading the message of like big tensor. Yeah. And some people will come to me like, yeah, I bought this jacket, this color that like I wouldn't have it myself, but I he bought it and I was like, wow, this is great. I put it available for people to choose it. And then he was like, someone stopped me on the streets and say like, "Oh, are you related to Bittensor?" I'm like, "Wow, how crazy is that, right?" Um, so I do have plans of expanding in the sense. Um, I don't know if in somehow I would make some sort of like inner community. I think this is a little bit too early. I don't really want to make of TNN a, a bigger thing to take the focus from Tao at the moment. I think that would be the right situations in which we can curate like maybe an NFT collection, like a small one or something like that for more like the biggest fans, for the people that did more than one order, people that bought like limited editions and stuff like that, and then have like pieces specifically for them, just like working designs that they want. I think I would definitely do that.
So you got stopped on the street because you were wearing the merch?
No, that was not me. That was a guy that sent me a message, like one of the community members that bought the merch, and then he was telling me the story. Yeah, a guy stopped me on the street. He's like, did you do you have anything to do with the Tensor?" Because he saw like the Tensor in the merch. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. I'm expecting for this day because I go on an airport with a big like jacket that's saying hold with a big T, like just looking to people like someone knows that, please. So
Uh,
hopefully one day I'll get that as well.
one day you will.
Yeah.
You're in Brazil, so how's the BitTensor community there?
Um, I haven't heard about a lot of people in Brazil. We do have like I know like for example now we have and the teams that I am in Bittensor, yeah, we have like a guy from Brazil as well. Um, but we do have like a massive barrier in Brazil of the language. So it is hard to find a lot of people that will be involved. And if they're involved in crypto, is like a very flat space of crypto. It's not really deep into the holes of Bittensor because it requires a lot. Like you need to read a lot. You need to be constantly getting the information. And now I think it's hard for the community in Brazil. But we have some. We're growing on that.
You got to curate that community in Brazil. You got to be the leader.
I have to make a YouTube channel just to talk about Bittensor in Portuguese.
So, I guess what is your investment thesis in BitTensor? Why do you stick around? What do you hope that BitTensor will do or achieve or become?
um, well, like not financial advisor, of course. I think that everyone needs to do their own research. But I think that the space of crypto, it comes with um, several moments in which people that are very smart with their ideas, they create things that are very innovative. Like we've never seen that before, right? And with BitTensor, like the idea, the concept for me is a stronger than actually just waiting for the result. For me now, it's too risky to not be on BitTensor rather than be on BitTensor. So, because if it works, and then you see when you're around the community that there are so many people dedicated to make it work. Right? You see the guys in OTF, you see like Const, Ala, you see the guys that are running subnets. They're so committed to make it work. They're so devoted to the concept, to the idea, that it gives you a sense of like, okay, how would that be? And then how would that look like in 5 years? That was my first idea. That had been passing 2 years. And then I have been seeing like so much of the great, so much that have been going on. Of course, there are issues, there are things that you have to work on. But people are not like really getting, set with that. sometimes you get like more a sense of, oh, it's not being fair, it's not this and that, but it's very early, right? Like we have to think about things that had the success that we want to have, like Bitcoin, and think how it was early, how it was the early days of Bitcoin. Um, and I think that I'm longing to see the Tensor still as the main platform like we have today, an equivalent to Linux, how much is built on Linux, right? Um, I like to think about it and ask people, how would that look like if the internet was a stock? You could buy stocks of the internet like that everyone access today. We don't know. A lot of people that use the internet, they don't really know how it works. They don't think about all the cloud computers, all the servers, and all the stuff that's going on behind of those scenes. But they use it every day, and then they cannot live without it anymore. And I think that's the way in which the tensor is walking. That's what I believe. That's what I see as the maximum thesis of the tensor. And then, of course, it's too risky to do not be on it. That's like what I think.
So you liken BitTensor to, in a form, kind of owning the internet in a way.
Yeah, owning it, not necessarily like the internet, but like the technology that is behind of it that will make what we see the internet today as as what it is today, right? I think this is like my thesis.
Got it. Got it. And then you highlighted the community is so strong. You got so many talented people working for its success. You've been a part of other crypto communities. Solana was the main one. How do you compare BitTensor's community to other communities in crypto that you have been a part of in the past?
Fair lunch, first of all. I think this makes a massive difference. A lot of the big projects in Solana, they're big by really big VCs. Necessarily, those VCs at some point they gonna dump. That's the truth. Um, and on BitTensor, you have this sort of like layers of the community that they keep keeping track of each other, right? Of like, okay, so you're not doing this in the thing in a way that I think that is fair. So I'm not one. I don't want to get involved with you. I rather get involved with someone else. Um, and that is not necessarily this lock period. You literally give power to a subnet, for example, to build something. Here are my emissions as a validator, for example. Here are my emissions. Go for it. And now with dTAO, here's my emissions. I want your alpha tokens. I'm not really enjoying where are you going. I'm not really enjoying how you're organizing yourself. I'm not really enjoying how you're advertising yourself. I'm not really enjoying how you withdraw it. I get out. And then on while on Solana and other projects, it's like I don't really like what you're doing, but now like I don't really have a way out of it in the same way. Okay, you can go there and sell your tokens, but your thesis of investment is not in the bit tensor. Like it's not in Solana as a whole. You like going on different tokens and going back to Solana, but that's just like damaging the Solana network as like a lot of projects in there don't really have a big credibility anymore. So you're like, okay, even if I have Solana and I want to invest in other projects, I might rather just want to be in Solana, just hold Solana. Right? While on the Tensor, I can do that, um, but I have many other options of investment. They are still attached to DAO, right? To the token of the Tensor. Um, and and I don't think that this dynamic is the same, right? People would say like, yeah, you can still convert and stuff like that, but it's not really as intrinsic valuable for Solana, right? If they are making pump fund tokens and stuff, that's is it positive, is it not for Solana, right? While like in the tensor, you're like, okay, you have a layer of like different things, validators of like you're producing something useful, you're producing something that is like groundbreaking, or is producing something that someone's going to use or not. Um, like on Solana, like you produce a meme coin, I want to get in and get a pump and then get out. And I don't think that in Bittensor we have this, and then it's a more serious space for really producing commodities, right?
You highlighted something that's interesting, is the projects built on Solana don't necessarily directly translate to value produced for Solana and token price appreciation for Solana.
Yeah.
With dTAO coming, everything, well, it's on testnet now. So
Mhm.
everything will be tied to BitTensor. How do you view dTAO? How do you think that will impact BitTensor and the ecosystem? What is
Is
your understanding
um
of it? Of how you would explain what dTAO is?
well, I I won't say too much because it's very experimental, right? At the moment. I think like the own concept of the tensor is a very um, groundbreaking idea. We're gonna give this sense of bigger responsibility for the subnets, the companies, right, that we were talking about. As so you can go to zero now, and that won't necessarily um, mean a damage for the tensor, but just for your settlement, right? I think that they will have a bigger necessity of presenting what they're building because in the early days, like I said, it was hard for them even to describe what was going on. It was so abstract. What are you building? Like it's so dense in the sense of like the knowledge they need to understand it. It's not for everyone. But now you will depend on those understandings of the people to really maintain uh, a solid investment on your subnet. And then you would have to make it easier for people to understand. You will have to work to make it more um, to make the result more visible for people. And then if you fail on that, even if you have a really good idea, it's like it's a part of like the business world that is coming to the Bittensor network, in which like, yeah, you can have your best business in the world, but if you don't make people really consume it, if you don't make people really understand it, if you don't make people see the value of it, what are you gonna do? You're gonna cry? Are you gonna yell at everyone? Like, please understand? No, you have to do better. You have to improve.
What are your favorite companies or subnets coming into this detail era?
Man, there's so many ones. It's really hard. Like, I really like different how the utilities are so different. I really love it as well. I think, of course, what the guys on macrocosm are doing, like it, like the sense of how professional they are dealing with their subnets is awesome. The protein folding one is for me one of the most like wow, because it is just like, man, this is very useful for like what is coming with the technology and all the the longevity industry and all the stuff. For me, I get so excited looking at it. But at the same time, I can go and I see like you know um, I can look subnets of like I think it's subnets 46 of like with 3D, like they're rendering and making 3D prints of like all the characters and stuff. I see that as awesome as well. We are going to like a full digital economy with like I don't know. Uh, you have games in which people will want to print what they have in the games, and you just the industries there are they're growing so much. At the same time, you see like betting, the guys of Sport Tensor, the guys of Bet Tensor. You see the guys of 44 with the Vision. It's like wow, you dream the Vision. It's so much. I can really go all day long, like reading them and imagining how they could succeed, where and in which moment. So it's hard to choose like one specific one. So if I had to say one, only one, ah man, I
Give
don't
me
know.
your
I don't
top
dare.
five, top three.
Top five, top three. Okay. Um, like I said, um, protein folding. I would say mm, I would put like in the same category like Bettensor, Sport Tensor, um, Vision is really awesome. Um, Man, you're putting me in a really hard situation. Um, which more? I think the
When you
guys of Omega as well, they're awesome. Their idea is like, uh, I feel that I'm being unfair. To be honest, I feel that I'm being unfair. I could put them all as first, together with all the other ones as first as well. I think they're ones that I talk the most as well with the teams. Some at 15 as well. Duval, like, is really awesome. The guys of Womble, um, yeah, I think I will go with those. I would go with those. Like, I stick with those five, six, seven. I don't know how many sets.
7, 8, 9,
Yeah, so
10.
yeah, all of them, and I want to invest all of them.
When you said the Vision one, were you talking about 19 or 44 with the football vision?
44, I met Max. He's a real great guy. Talking like about the vision, like that's why I said as well. For me now, is not only the the idea itself, because the idea is very promising, and 19 is also awesome with idea. I'm not saying that, of course not. Um, but I'm looking to a lot of those that they really have a long vision as a business model, not only as the subnet, as the idea. Because the idea is like the cemetery is like the, if you go to the graveyard, it's full of the ideas. The best ideas are there, right? A lot of those ideas really never came true, and then a lot of those ideas really didn't find what it needed to succeed. So I think like the ones that I feel that the people are very committed to make it happen, needed to make it like um something that is being used across the globe. It makes me very excited.
And you're Brazilian. You got to be biased towards football.
Yes, what can I say? Like, I cannot run from it. I'm not even playing anymore or anything, but it's just in my blood. I cannot feel it anymore.
Who's your favorite footballers?
Ronaldinho,
That's the
no,
right answer. That's
no
the right
one
answer.
exactly. I can respect someone that says something different, but they're wrong.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good answer. That's a good answer.
what about
Um,
you? Are you gonna say the same, right? Like,
no,
I hope so.
Ronaldinho, yes, my favorite player
Because
ever.
you also have roots in here. Right? You have roots in Brazil as well. It's there. You know that.
Yeah, well, okay. I'll wrap it up with this. You're a creative in BitTensor. You're a non-technical person, self-described as a non-technical person in BitTensor. You found a spot to add value to the network, contribute to the community. What advice would you have for other, you know, people that wouldn't describe themselves as technical? How can they contribute? How do they view the ecosystem, analyze it, and say, this is where I can contribute. This is what I can do to add value.
Yeah, I think it's you cannot expect. I would say that don't expect anything, right? Do what you believe that you're doing that has value in what you're doing. You have to believe in your own capabilities of like, you know, I'm good at this. I'm good at communicating, talking. I'm good at, you know, connecting people. I'm good doing, you know, writing posts, making videos, descriptions, writing down about what I understood. I'm good at writing. Whatever it is, do it with your heart. Do it like as something that is what you feel like you had to do. If you really feel like you have to contribute in that what you good, do it. People will realize it at some point. Work just build up brick by brick, and don't get unmotivated if you don't really get like someone to talk. Even that the Bitcoin community is very receptive to new people that are like talking, putting their ideas out. There are, of course, like the formal guys, the more like crypto side of it. if you're gonna write like crypto posts and stuff like that. But just do it with your heart and do as much as you can for as many people as you can. That's like what I would suggest people do as much as you can with whatever you have as well. Don't ask too much. I need to have this or that. I need to write this way or not. No, just do um, the best you can for as many people as you can with whatever you have. That's my advice.
Lukita, it's been great talking to you. Thank you for
And
coming
thank you
on.
so much.
Everybody, go to Tao merch. Check out some Tao merch. Go buy some Tao merch. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Pleasure, man. Thank you.